Tints and Shades, Part 1. Today we're going to talk about how we can add black or white to a color to make it lighter or darker. What we want to be able to do after this video is we want to be able to try out different ways and use different materials to create tints and shades or add white or black to a color. Hi students, it's Ms.Boley here. This week we're going to do some experimenting with some different materials to see what happens when we add white and black to a color. So keep watching this video to see what materials you'll need and some ideas for some different techniques to try out. So you might want to get some markers, pencil crayons, pastels, or crayons. You'll also need some paper to try those things out on. And I'm going to try out some watercolor paints, and I've grabbed a plastic palette. So any kind of plastic thing will work. And I also have gotten a glass of water to use with those watercolor paints. So once you've gathered some materials, you're going to start trying out some different techniques. So take a second and go gather some materials. You don't have to have all of the things I've shown, but just go get whatever you have at home that you could use for this activity. So watch me try it out first, and then you can go ahead and try it out yourself. All right, I'm going to start out using pastels. So I've grabbed a green, and then I've also grabbed white and black. So what I'll do is I'll just start by making a little area of green, and then I'm going to make another area of green, and this is where I'm going to be adding black. So I'm going to be trying to make a dark, medium, and light for each. So I'm just going to add black on top. And then that's a little dark, so I'm going to go back with green and layer green on top of that. And it'll kind of help those two colors blend together. I've also tried to use my finger to blend a little bit. You can try blending with your finger. You can also try blending with a Kleenex or a paper towel as well. So now I'm going to make one more little square of green, and I'm adding white on top to see if I can make it a little bit lighter. So now I'm going to be left with a light green, a regular green, and a dark green. So feel free to try that with crayons as well. I'm going to move on to trying it with pencil crayons. So I'll use red this time. So again, I'll do just my regular red without anything added. And then red with black mixed in. So I'm going to see if this can be blended with my finger or not. And I'll just try layering that one too. For my light red, I can use a white pencil crayon on top, and I'm also pressing a little bit lighter with my pencil crayon so that it makes a little bit of a lighter color. So the white of the paper will be mixing in. So I'm trying white pencil crayon layered on top now. So now I'm going to try marker. The only problem is I can't find a white marker in my box. So I've noticed that there is a light purple that I could use. This is something you'll need to think about when you're adding white to markers. So I've added black on top, and it's a little bit dark. So I'll try layering that with some more purple. And then I will use my light purple that I found in my set to be my light version. So you don't have to use only marker by itself or only pastel by itself like I'm doing. What might happen if you tried mixing marker and pastel? What about marker and pencil crayon? You should try out combining different materials and see what happens. Alright, now I'm going to try my watercolor set. So I'm going to use my plastic palette, and I'm going to make a little puddle of water on my palette. So this is the way that I normally use watercolors. If you use them differently, you go ahead and use them the way you're used to. So I'm going to use blue. So I'm going to take some blue paint, and I'm going to mix that blue paint in with the water puddle on my little palette. So now I have what is called a wash, and I'm going to paint it onto my paper. There we go, that's my middle blue color. Now what I want to do for the light colors, instead of mixing, because I don't have a white paint on my palette, I'm going to add water instead of white. So I'm adding water, and there was my light blue. And for my dark blue, I'm just going to add a little bit of black to my original puddle of blue. And there is my dark color, my dark blue. Alright, so let's review. If I add white to a color, I end up with something lighter. If I add black, I end up with something darker. So our goal is to try to make a light, medium, and dark of a color. And we want to use different materials to see which ones mix best. Alright, I hope you have fun experimenting, and thanks for watching.